This conference will now be recorded.
Today we're going to talk about your simple stay in touch plan. Why should you care about this class? This is part of our success series of classes, and the goal of these classes is to help each broker get one more sale per month if they apply the principles we're teaching. So who does this class apply to? Everyone here will fall into one of two categories. Either you already have an abundance of contacts in your sphere of influence, in which case this class will teach you how to keep in touch with them so you are the one agent they think of when they need help with real estate. Or you will be somebody who's building your sphere of influence, in which case you need to be keeping in touch with your contacts while you're building your contact list to at least 200 people. In our other classes, we'll give specific ways to get more clients, which will eventually end up in your sphere of influence. The class after this one will be on geographic farming. So let's get started. Our goal for you, one more transaction per month. We've been focusing on the overall strategy of why you should be marketing your brand. Today, this first class is on how to market your brand. When you're looking to fill your sales funnel, your existing contacts, also known as your sphere of influence, are going to be your largest and most important source of leads. Unfortunately, I see a lot of brokers spending a great deal of time, energy, and money cultivating new relationships, new leads, while totally abandoning their current ones. Remember, retaining a current client is so much cheaper and easier than acquiring new ones. One very important reason is that the sales barrier has already been lowered with existing clients. But with new clients, a lot of effort needs to still go into lowering the barrier. People will always be skeptical about you at first. Remember, it is 5 times more costly to recruit a new customer. 5 times more costly to do that. Much cheaper to stay with your existing people. But if you want to keep your existing clients, you need to do one very important thing. Stay in touch with them. I'm sure you've heard this now a couple of times if you've been attending the other classes. According to a recent NAR survey, over 85% of home buyers and sellers are likely to use their real estate agent again and recommend that agent to others. Yet only about 25% actually did. That's a recent survey from 2019. That's a remarkable disconnect. What's the question? The question is why? Answer, brokers are simply not staying in touch with their existing sphere of influence. They're not obligated to use you again as their broker. This is the most important slide here, I think. Another NAR survey results show that 7 of 10 sellers chose their agent based on a referral by a friend, neighbor, or relative, or they used their previous agent. That's important. That is saying that on average, 70% of brokers got their business from their existing sphere of influence. Let's say that your goal is to net $100,000 this year. That means $70,000 of that $100,000 should be coming from your sphere of influence. However, if you're not keeping in touch, you're putting all your marketing efforts into the $30,000, ignoring the $70,000 that's easier to get. The question, if 70% of your income comes from your sphere of influence, wouldn't it make sense that the majority of your time and marketing should be spent on this group? When we talk about this with some of our top producers here in our office, we find out that in some of their cases, it wasn't 70% of their business that they get from their existing group. It's more like 90%. And the people who are our top producers spend the majority of their marketing dollars on their group of people. So how do you get your sphere of influence to become your raving fan? Keeping your name top of mind and refer you to others. My experience has shown me the primary reasons agents do not keep in touch with the sphere of influence is one big reason. They have no plan. Today, we're going to show you 2 very simple stay in touch plans that are actually being used in our industry to stay in touch with your sphere of influence and to help you on your way to making one more sale per month. The first is from a real estate team in Atlanta, Georgia called the Graham Seavey Group. This group went from starting their business with nothing in 2013 to being named the top Keller Williams group in the Southeast region in just 4 years. Before you start thinking they must have had a huge marketing budget or extensive contacts, let me stop you right there. They did all of this with a simple system with a limited marketing budget and a contact list of about 250 people. So let's look at their success. In 2013, they had 12.6 million in sales, which is wonderful. But in 2014, they had 26.8 million in sales. And then in 2015, they had 59.5 million in sales. 2016, 91.9 million in sales. They projected their 2017 sales to be about 150 million. But at about this time, Graham and CB decided it was best to split the group into 2 individual teams, with a second group now called Community and Council Realty. It's pretty obvious that the niche for this newly formed group is community. So what was their simple system that they used with their contact group of 250 people? Real simple. Number 1, on the 15th of every month, they sent a postcard to everyone in their database. It was a jumbo postcard. Number 2, on the 7th of every month, they sent a short video email. They don't have to be professional productions. In fact, it could be as simple of talking into your camera on your cell phone or on your computer and just producing that and sending it out. You send them out through a system such as BombBomb, and we can talk more about that later. On the 21st of every month, they sent an email, and that could be something of value to everyone on their niche. And then once a quarter, they would call all the contacts on their list. That's it. Once you have your contact list of 200 people, just need to be keeping in touch with them. They could be a constant source of leads. Here's another example of a simple plan used by a successful realtor in the Austin, Texas area. His name is Noli Williams. Again, starting from nothing, within 10 years, he had sold more than 1,000 homes, putting him in the top 1% of all real estate agents nationally. So what was his simple plan? Monthly e-newsletters to everyone in his database. So that's 12 times a year, a newsletter. Second, quarterly mailing to his database. So that's 4 times a year, he mailed them something. Third, semi-annually, he called the database. So that's 2 times a year. This super simple plan only requires a few hours a week to implement. Super, super simple. So what's your plan going to be? Even if you don't have 200 people in your database, you need to have a great plan for however many you do have. So what you should do right now is write down on a piece of paper your simple stay in touch plan. 4 things. What are your 4 things you're going to do? Are you going to be copying Noli Williams? Are you going to be copying the team there from Atlanta? 4 things. You're going to do a monthly newsletter. That's awesome. We do a monthly newsletter, but keep in mind, our newsletter is generic in nature. We have now produced a newsletter that is more customizable for you. We're sending it to you in a way that you can put your own contact information in your picture, as well as writing your own little article if you wish. Postcards. That's another great way of keeping in contact with your database. Whether you choose monthly or quarterly, you should be doing jumbo size so they stand out. If you're doing it quarterly, it does not have to be different every time. It could be the same postcard, which means you could save in printing costs. So if you have a contact group of 250 people, just print 1,000 postcards to save on cost and setup and mail the same postcard 4 times. Here's an example of a Homes for Heroes postcard, and it's a wonderful referral. This is something that Jackie in our office is connected with. She's a partner with Homes for Heroes, in which she works with people who are considered heroes, our military, our police and fire, our teachers, our medical people. This is part of her stay in touch plan. For realtors who are doing a geographic area, postcards will likely be more like a line of just sold, just listed, and open houses. So you can think about a lot of those. I'm sure all of you are receiving postcards like that at home for people who are working in your neighborhood. But don't get caught in the trap of thinking sending out postcards in a neighborhood once a quarter or even once a month is going to get you listings. You have to own that neighborhood to be effective. So when you're sending out your emails, you may want to include something of value. For instance, a first-time home buyer's guide. So if your niche is working with first-time home buyers, a shortened URL link to a guide like this or anything else that you may have, you can also have a PDF version that you attach. Be aware that you need to be consistent in your marketing. Make sure that you have the same picture of yourself, the same picture of however you want to be seen out there. That image is who you are. The third thing to think about is phone calls. We have a couple of top brokers in our office who make phone calls the top way they stay in touch with their sphere of influence. You don't have to call everybody all at once. You just have to do it a few minutes a day, spread it out. If you're calling 250 people, do 2 a day. In the space of a year, you will have touched them twice. When you do that, however, make sure that you have a record of having made a phone call. Put it in your customer relationship management system, whatever it is, CRM. It could be on an Excel spreadsheet, say, called them on such and such a day. Anything that you may record on that contact management system that you have would be something like what you spoke about. Remember in our earlier class, we talked about the world's greatest salesman, Joe Girard. When he would make phone calls to people and contact them, people would know he's really listening to them, care about it. That's how you build loyalty and trust. One other thing to think about here is your sphere of influence. Within it will be your inner circle. That is your most effective group of people from which you get most of your business. It's really important to be touching them even more regularly than your other people. Make sure that with your sphere of influence, you let them know how much you appreciate them. These are the people who are out there singing your praises and the people from whom you get most of your referrals. Do an end of year party for them to show how much appreciation and gratitude you have. Something like that is a way of connecting with people. If you don't have a contact management system yet, make sure you get one set up. That's the next thing I would say you have to have. You have to have something at a minimum, an Excel spreadsheet in which you have all your contacts out there that you can be uploading in various different systems such as Express Docs or Bear Printing and have them send out directly to them your postcards. Have something set up so that you can be using that. If you need help with that, please let me know. Happy to help you with that. Thank you.